So welcome everybody, and thank you so much for coming along to join us at our virtual cooking class tonight. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Chelsea McGill, and I am a Thermomix Business Development Manager. I have been with Thermomix for 4.5 years now. I was a consultant and team leader for 3.5 years, and I have been a Business Development Manager for the last 12 months. So my role with Thermomix is a little bit different. I work full-time for Thermomix, and I do a lot of training, support for team leaders, new consultants, that kind of stuff. I live in Bunyip in Victoria, and I work with the Gippsland region. And I'm also lucky enough to be working with the region of Tasmania at the moment as well. So tonight I've got the lovely Vicky with me. Vicky will introduce herself when she comes on to cook, and she's going to tell you a little bit about herself. But I did join Thermomix 4.5 years ago. I had owned a TM31 and then I'd upgraded to a TM5. And then my beautiful consultant told me the TM6 was coming, and I was like, oh my God, I can't buy another one. My husband will kill me. So she said, just come and earn it. And I thought, oh, if I could just reduce the cost of it, then I'd feel better about it. So I said, all right, 60 days and I am gone. Like, I had 2 kids, I've got a job, like, that's it. Obviously I didn't go anywhere, and here I am 4.5 years later working in a very different role to what I thought I would be, but it is fabulous. So I'd love if you could let me know where you're from tonight. Pop in the chat and let us know where you're from and what brought you along tonight. What is it that you are wanting to see? Do you have a Thermomix wanting to learn more, or are you interested to find a little bit more about our beautiful Thermomix? Pop it in the chat and let us know. Now, I do ask that everybody does stay on mute for us tonight, just because we are expecting about 40 people on. There's already 25 of you, so thank you everyone for coming to join us. But when you guys come off mute, it does affect our sound. So we would love if you could stay on mute, but we really do love when you interact with us. So it's really nice when you guys talk to us. So please use that chat box to ask questions, interact, whatever it may be. So thank you again for coming along tonight. We are doing a TM6 spotlight. So we are using some of the amazing functions of our TM6 tonight. We've got 5 different dishes for you, and I'm really excited to show you all of them. So while you are letting us know who you are, can you tell me what is your favorite thing about your Thermomix if you do have one already? What is your favorite thing, your favorite mode, your favorite function, the favorite thing about it, whatever it may be? Pop it in the chat and let us know. All right, so we are going to get cracking. So I am going to click my 3 lines on the top of my screen here. I'm going to go into my weekly planner. Now, in my weekly planner, I've got lots of beautiful recipes. So you can see a couple of different things there, and then our recipes for tonight. So I am going to start off by making some pastry. Now, this pastry recipe can be made in all of our different Thermomixes, which is great. Our other recipes tonight are going to be TM6 only recipes, but this is one that you can make in all the models. So tell me, guys, is anyone making pastry at the moment? If you have a Thermomix, or if you don't, are you making it by hand? Or if you don't have a Thermomix, do you think it would be something you would love to make if you did have a Thermomix? So we bring up our guided cooking recipe, and I scroll my finger down the screen. You've got difficulty, prep time, total time, portions, ingredients. You've got all of your steps here, and of course your nutritional value over there, utensils, hints. Oh, this one's got a lot of hints and tips on it, which is really cool. So you can have a read through and get yourself prepped and ready to go. So we are making the sweet shortcut pastry, short crust pastry. I thought it was called shortcut pastry for most of my life. I only worked out maybe a year or 2 ago that it was called short crust. Is anyone else with me? Did you think it was called shortcut, or am I just a bit weird? So we're going to go in with 100 grams of sugar. So this is what's going to sweeten that pastry up for us. Now, it does just say sugar. I'm using raw. I do find that I use raw sugar for almost everything. When you have a Thermomix, you can mill your sugar down, which is brilliant, but I prefer the taste of raw sugar. It's not as kind of sweet and artificial tasting. So we used our scales there and we weighed our 100 grams. Now you will notice with our TM6 scales that they do weigh in 1 gram increments. So our TM31 weighs in 10 grams and our TM5 weighs in 5 grams. So our TM6 weighs in 1 gram, so super precise. So with our guided cooking, we've got our timer set on 15 seconds, and then it's asking you to turn your speed selector around to 10. So I am going to do that all the way around. So I did mention that amazing milling function. I hope you can still hear me. That amazing milling function, being able to mill our own sugar, and you can see that is happening right now. We've got our little ding there. Now you may notice that the TM6 has different dinging sounds to the older models, and something that I love about it is that you can actually change the sound that your TM6 makes, and you can also change the length of time it beeps at you for. So I know when I used to have the older model Thermomixes, it used to do my head in when I was in a different room with the kids doing something, and my Thermomix would be dinging at me. So this one turns itself off after a couple of seconds. I'm just going to scrape that down. And we have just turned our raw sugar into pure icing sugar. Look at that. Isn't that just amazing? So that's an awesome function in our Thermomix. And that is a great way to save money. So icing sugar is about $5 for 500 grams, and raw sugar $4 for 500 grams, and raw sugar is $1 a kilo. So massive cost difference there. And it does mean that you don't have to keep lots of different sugars in your pantry. You can make caster sugar as well by milling it for just a couple of seconds, or your icing sugar, which is awesome. We're going to go with 200 grams of unsalted butter, just cut into cubes. Now, a great tip for me, from me to you, is to slightly freeze your butter first. So when you're making this recipe, it does want you to rest it for an hour in the fridge. But if you pop your butter in the freezer for maybe 10 minutes before, 20 minutes, something like that, whatever you've got, it will reduce that time that you need to leave it in the fridge for. So it's going to be ready to be used quicker. So we've got 207 grams, a little bit over, but that is fine. Then we're going to go with 370 grams of plain flour that I prepared earlier. And I'm a couple of grams over there as well. My weighing before obviously wasn't great. And then a medium-sized egg, a pinch of sea salt, and then 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla sugar, homemade, or a teaspoon of natural vanilla extract. Now I'm all out of extract, but I do have some homemade vanilla bean paste that I have made here. This is another great way to save money with a Thermomix. Making your own vanilla bean paste. Now, I know vanilla beans can be expensive, but if you buy them online or in certain stores, not Woolies, you can get them quite cheap when you buy a few. So it is, and then you can whip up your vanilla bean paste in just a minute. So great money saver there as well. So this one wants us to insert spatula through the mixing hole lid, just like this. So this is just going to help to combine it. So back on our guided cooking, we've got 25 seconds and around to speed 5. It does say prolong by 5 seconds if necessary until clinging together. So we will see how that goes. I don't even need to do that. That's doing a great job. So you want to watch it through the hole in your lid. Just going to give it a little stir now to make sure it's sticking. Awesome. Very happy with that. So watching it through that hole in the lid, you can see exactly what's happening there. And we have just made pastry. It is literally that simple. If you have a Thermomix and you're not making pastry, I definitely recommend popping it on the list because it really is that easy and it is that delicious. So simple. And once you taste thermo-made pastry, you'll never go back to store-bought. So we're going to use our thermomat here. Now you can get yourselves a thermomat in our business kit if you did decide to join our team or as a host reward, and they can be purchased on our mix shop. So tip our bowl upside down and you're going to twist your blades back and forward until it's nice and loose and all that dough has come out. Now don't panic if it looks really crumbly, that is normal. We're just going to use our hands. We're just going to bring it together like this. Now your thermomats are silicone, so they're non-stick, which is great. So it says bring it together into a ball shape and then flatten to a disc. So just give it a bit of a kind of a roll around. Has anyone made short crust pastry before, sweet or savoury? Pop it in the chat and let me know. So into a ball and then flatten into a disc. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to wrap it up. Flatten into a disc and then wrap in cling film. I'm not going to wrap it in cling wrap. We don't use Glad wrap in our house, but the thermomat is perfect. You don't need to do that. Sorry, I've just got someone off mute. Just going to fix that. You don't need to put it in cling wrap when you've got your thermomat. So it says to go in for 1 hour, but I did use that frozen butter, so I am going to reduce that time until I need it. So it's probably going to be about 20 minutes or so in there, and I think that's going to be fine. But then it's going to walk you through the rest of the recipe, which I don't need to do because we're going to turn these into some beautiful lemon tarts shortly. So what we're going to do is cut over to Vicky now, and she's going to introduce herself, let you guys know a little bit about her, and then she's going to take us away with her first dish.
Hello everyone, my name is Victoria Cody and I am a consultant here in Gippsland. I've been a consultant for in my 6th month now, and I'm also stepping up to be a team leader, so that is it's amazing actually. Tonight I'm going to make some beef fajitas with you. So again, like Chelsea said, I've had it in my weekly planner. I don't know if you can see my screen there. I'll move that over just a little bit. So when we go down, we just have a look at all of the tips and tricks and stuff like that. So we've got the difficulty of this one is easy. It is a super, super easy recipe. I am cheating tonight and I have gone and got tortillas. But please know that there is a recipe for tortillas on Cookie Doo, and it is absolutely amazing. I just ran out of time this week. The prep time of this is 15 minutes. That means hands-on 15 minutes, and the total time is 30 minutes. And this is going to serve 6 people. So we're going to hit start cooking. And I have already cut my cheddar cheese into pieces. So we're going to pop in 200 grams. Now, I think this is going to be a little bit over by about 50 grams, but we're not going to waste 50 grams by not putting that in. So we're just going to add in that little bit extra. So we're going to hit next. We're going to insert the lid and the measuring cup. Next again, and we're going to turn that around to speed 7. And in 3 seconds, we have grated the cheddar cheese. 3 seconds. How cool is that? So now we are going to pop that into a bowl, and we're just going to pop that to the side. The cheddar cheese does get a little bit sticky. So bear with me for 2 seconds while I get that out, because I've just mushed it a little bit into the bottom.
I love the taste of cheddar cheese, but I do find that happens to me every time, Vic. So I tend to just use Tasty when I'm doing this kind of stuff. I mean, cheddar tastes incredible, but it does just make a bit of a hot mess because it's a soft cheese.
It is so, so soft. And I guess just that power of the TM6 as well, it really, really grates it up. So as you can see, it has made a little bit of a mess in there. So I think I might take that tip off, Chelsea, and next time just get the Tasty cheese, because I do like Tasty cheese as well.
I also find Tasty's a little bit cheaper, and I'm trying to reduce the cost of my groceries at the moment. So that is a good way to reduce the cost there as well.
Absolutely. Love that tip. I'm definitely going to take that one on board. Now, as you can see, I have just swapped over bowls. So normally, if you only had one bowl, you would have to go and then wash that bowl out. But I have the second bowl, so we're just going to keep going. $29 at the moment with the deal up until the 31st. So it is incredible, incredible offer. Now, see, that step right there is just telling me to clean and dry the mixing bowl. Now we're going to place the server, the Thermomix server, which is another host reward, just like the bread mat that Chelsea just shown you. You can get this as a host reward, or you can also get that in your business kit. So at the moment, your business kits are half price. So for $75, this is included, and this thermo server is worth $160. So that is like your business kit is paid for just in one server. So we're going to place that on top. And then we are going to weigh in 200 grams of cherry tomatoes cut in half. Tiny little bit over, that is fine. And then we're going to pop in, excuse me, I just have to squeeze in front of the camera, 20 grams of lime juice. Now, you could absolutely use fresh limes if you've got them growing in your backyard. I unfortunately do not. I've got nectarine trees. I should really plant a lime one or a lemon one. And then we're going to, it's asking us to add coriander, but I'm sorry, I can't do coriander at all. So I'm skipping that step. And then we're going to pop that one aside. We're going to let those cherry tomatoes sit in the lime juice and soak all of that up. And then inside our thermo bowl, we're going to add 1 chili. I've taken out the seeds in that one as well because we don't really do super hot in this house. So that would be just a little bit way too hot for us if I let seeds in. We're going to pop that in. Now, excuse me a second. What did I do with my measuring cup? Here it is. Pop that in, and that is going to just chop those chilies up. Now, this step here is telling me do not scrape sides of the mixing bowl. So in 3 seconds, we've just chopped that up super fine. So that is fine with it being in the bowl like that. And then we are going to add 30 grams of olive oil. Just going to tear that off. Another fun tip about those thermo servers is that your food hot or cold for 2 hours. So on basketball nights, I will cook dinner before we leave, and then when we get home, I'll pop it in the server. When we get home, it's still hot. No need to reheat. I literally just serve it out of the server, and dinner's done. Now we're going to pop in 170 grams of red onion cut into wedges. And we're also going to pop in, scrub it from the side. Now it's going to ask me for red capsicum, and then in the next one, it's going to ask for yellow capsicum. I'm just going to throw it all in because I have weighed it out, so I know that that is the correct amount. I didn't have a yellow one, so I'm just popping in a red one. So that is fine. Now on this step, it is going to use the high heat function. So it is going to ask me for the splash guard. So this is a safety feature that now goes on top, and it'll lock it into place so that nobody will get hurt with that. So that's now, so with the high heat function, the difference between the TM5 and the TM6 is that your TM5 will only get to 120 grams, whereas the TM6 gets to 160 grams. So with your TM5, you would notice that it's sort of like would wet your veggies and your meat, whereas with the TM6 getting to that high heat function, it actually cooks it sautés stuff, so you really get that cooked consistency with it. So yeah, can you hear that sizzle? I don't know if you can hear it. I don't know if you
Not
can
yet.
Oh, it's my favorite. I love hearing that sizzle in there. So anyway, that's going to do its job for 7 minutes. So I will shoot back to Chelsea with that one, and she can
Thank
take
you so much, Vic. I'm excited to see how those veggies have sauteed in that high heat mode. So thank you very much. Sorry, I just got to find myself again. So we are back over here. Our pastry is in the fridge, and we're going to jump back into our weekly planner and head on over to our lemon curd. So tell me, is lemon curd something that anybody's making in their Thermomix at the moment, or is it something that you're buying at the moment? I'd love to know. So clean and rinse sealable storage jars and lids in very hot water and leave to dry. Now that wants you to sterilize some jars. I'm not going to, because I'm going to use this curd for some lemon tarts, so I don't need to do that. But if you were popping it in a jar, you do want to sterilize your jars, but you can sterilize your jars with your Thermomix. So when you're cooking something in the bowl, pop your Varoma with your jars upside down, and that will sterilize your jars. So, or you can just put some water in there, nice and easy. So we're going to go with 240 grams of white sugar. And as I said, I don't use a lot of white sugar. I just prefer raw sugar. So I'm going to go with my 240 grams of raw. So using those scales, nice and precise, except I'm not very precise at all. I'm very good at going over. So I've gone 6 grams over, which is fine. I get asked a lot with the TM6 and cookie dough, does it beep at you when you do something wrong? And I'm like, not at all. If you're anything like me and you've seen me cook before, you'd know I'm like, throw it in, it'll be fine. A few grams over, a few grams under, doesn't matter. It's not going to beep at you or anything like that. 150 grams of freshly squeezed lemon juice. So I only had about 100 grams. So I've actually done a little bit of lime juice as well, because I had lots of limes that needed using up. So I've got mostly lemon, but a little bit of lime in here, and I'm excited to try how this tastes with the two. So 100 grams of unsalted butter, 120 20 grams of unsalted butter cut into pieces. So I've just roughly chopped those, throw them in. And then 3 eggs going in as well. And then we're going to pop our speeches all over the shop tonight. So we're going into our thicken mode. So there's no speed, and you'll notice there's actually no time set. I hope you guys can see that. I've turned the brightness down, but the screen is very bright on this Thermomix. So I'm just going to turn the dial, and we go into our thicken mode. So you can see it's got the jug here, 80 degrees, and then it actually comes on and says approximately 10 minutes. So it gives you an approximate time, because this thicken mode is so smart. It's actually going to turn off when it hits the perfect consistency. So the thicken mode knows when something is ready, essentially. It uses the resistance against the blades to decide if something is ready. So the thicken mode is super clever and amazing for making things like curds, making things like gravy. Hollandaise sauce makes the best hollandaise sauce. Custards, things like that. So you can make custard in the older model Thermomixes, but this one uses that thicken mode, and it's just even better than the older model. So I love this mode. For those of you that have a TM6, let me know what kind of, what do you like to make with the thicken mode? Is it a mode that you're using? Do you love it for something? Have you tried it? Pop it in the chat and let us know.
Charles, we've got M just asking if you've got a vanilla bean paste recipe that you recommend.
Yeah, so there is one on Cookie Dough, and I can have a look for it. Vanilla bean paste. No, it's not going to come up for me. Vanilla paste. It's just called vanilla paste. That's why it's not going to come up for me. Here we go. It is super easy, and it takes a total of 10 minutes, not even. Cook it for 5 minutes and then blitz it up. So I'll pop that in the chat for you guys. That'll be why, yeah. I think I should have known that. There we go. And there is that vanilla bean paste in the chat there. So just checking in the comments. Bechamel, yes. Thank you, Belinda. I don't know why I didn't think of bechamel. The thicken mode makes the best bechamel as well. So no guessing when it's ready. You throw it all in and you walk away. You come back, 8 to 12 minutes later, and you've got the thickest, creamiest bechamel, which is awesome. Sarah, you can absolutely override the time. So you can stop it if you think it's ready. Like if you have a little peek and you think that looks great, I want to stop it, you absolutely can. Or if when it finishes, if it's not thick enough, you can absolutely just turn it back on and watch it and then stop it when it's ready. Lots of TM31 lemon curd there. Love it. Carly is a new TM6 owner. You'll have to make it in the TM6 and let us know if you find it quite different. Crystal's got an abundance of lemons on her tree. Awesome. Loving these ideas. So that is our thicken mode, and it's literally just going to do exactly that. You'll hear that the blades will start spinning a little bit quicker at some point, but that is as simple as your curds are. Literally throw it in, walk away. Spend your time doing something that you would rather be doing. That may be doing the washing, hanging out with the kids. Maybe it's lying on the couch drinking a glass of wine, watching your favorite TV show. No judgment here. Whatever you want to be doing instead of standing at the stove and staring as you would be otherwise. So we're going to check back in with Vicky and see how she's traveling with her heaters. And I'm going to see you guys again shortly.
So we've still got about a minute 20 left on that. So I want to know in the chat, has anybody upgraded their TM5 to the TM6 yet? And anybody that is thinking about it, keep in mind that you do get that free extra, the second bowl with it as well. So these second bowls are valued at $395. So that is amazing value. Even with the what do you call it? The offer with the $29 bowl, still an amazing offer. That is like a huge discount on that. So we've still got about 45 seconds on that. I can smell this cooking and it smells absolutely amazing. I do love capsicum. I eat it quite regularly, whether it's cooked or raw. Just check that chat box. Is there much stock of the black left? That is definitely a Chelsea question.
That is something that I'm not meant to tell. No, in my role as a BDM, I do find out some things earlier than other people, which is always fun. Let's just say we are getting low, guys. We are definitely in the last period for the black thermo mixers. So our limited edition sparkling black that Vicky is cooking with tonight, they are going to be gone shortly. So if you have been thinking about getting one, you definitely want to chat to your consultant or reach out to one of us, and we can give you some advice on that. But once we hit 1,000 left, they will announce that. And then once we hit 1,000, people panic. And all those people that have been thinking about it and haven't done it, absolutely do it. So once we hit 1,000, they go quite quickly. So just keep that in mind and yell out to your consultant if you have any questions.
I know that you can't really see it in my house because I've got very, very poor lighting, unfortunately. So I am sorry about that. But I don't know if you can see it, the black, it is absolutely amazing. Like the texture on it, it's just like a matte finish. So it doesn't get dirty. And it just feels nice. I do love mine. So here we go with the cooked veggies. So we're just going to pop those into the Thermomix server. And then I'm going to pop the lid on it and pop that aside to keep them all nice and warm. So I've just popped that in with the cherry tomatoes. So I'm just going to mix that up with all the lime juice. Oh, guys, if you could smell this, honestly, I've already had dinner and I was going to eat this for lunch, but I reckon I could fit one fajita in tonight.
You can always fit a fajita in, Vicky. They're one of my favorite dishes and something that all four of us eat in our household, which is, not doesn't happen that often. You can absolutely have a fajita for dessert. You've earned it.
Absolutely. I think so. It smells amazing. Yeah, I'm just going to wash this out. I am one of the lucky ones that do the third bowl, but my mum has come over and stolen my white thermo. So I did have to quickly wash this out. Otherwise, I would have it out another time. But now we are going to make the seasoning for our fajitas. So I need all of this now. Okay, so it wants 1 teaspoon of onion powder. Now, this is the only time that you are going to have to use anything. I am unfortunately not like Chelsea. I do not like to guesstimate. It gives me anxiety. I need to do things properly. But if you are a guesstimator as well, by all means, go for it. And I think my onion powder has gone a little bit. Oh, no, here we go. I don't use it very often. Does anybody open up their herbs and go, oh, God, that one's been sitting there for a while? All right, so 1 teaspoon of onion powder, and then we're going to do 2 1/4 of ground cumin. Now, this one, I am going to cut it back a little bit because I'm not super keen on cumin. So I think we're just going to go 2 there. Again, it wants ground coriander. I'm not a fan of coriander. Is it you, Chelsea, that doesn't like coriander either?
That's absolutely me. See, I'll use dried coriander though. Like ground coriander's fine. It's just fresh coriander is the devil.
Yeah, I'm not keen. I just can't come to the party with it.
Let us know in the chat. Are you a yes to fresh coriander, or are you like a hard no to coriander?
Yeah, team yes or team no to coriander. So we've just popped in some paprika as well, and then we're going to go 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then same again with your ground black pepper. Now, I was just at Chelsea's house, when was it? Yesterday. And she has got these amazing salt and pepper shakers that I think I'm going to have to go and invest in. We were all commenting on them yesterday.
My Temu purchase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure most of you would have seen them in Chelsea's video, their lives. Now we're going to pop in 4 of olive oil. A little bit more. There we go. Now we're going to pop the lid back on, and then we're going to pop that simmering basket back on, as it is going to be going over the 90 degrees. So that's another safety feature right there. And that's just going to heat that up in the oil for a minute. So, Chelsea, did you want to jump back in while this is doing its thing?
Yeah, no worries at all. And then just let everyone know what you're going to do next, Vic, after that minute's up, and then we'll jump to the next step.
Yeah, so after that minute, we're going to take that out, and then we are going to be popping in the meat to do and use the high heat function again. So I've just got, just quickly show you. So we've just got some beef strips here. So normally, if you didn't have a thermo, this is absolutely something that you would have to cook on in your fry pan. But again, it all just gets done in the thermo. Getting up to that high heat of 160, that is going to brown that meat. It's not going to come out, you know, that real grey colour and sweated. It's going to be cooked and it's going to be nice. Actually, this has only got 5 seconds, Chelsea, so I can just
there we go.
After that, yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, that smells absolutely amazing. Just need to get that off. I should have checked the blades. I do that all the time, guys, and really, really good tip. Make sure you don't do what I do and throw everything onto the blades. Make sure you do it to the side so that it is in the liquid that you cook in. But there we go. We've just made our... We're going to pop that back on, and I'm going to pop this meat in now. So I want 350 grams of beef fillet steak cut into strips. And just make sure when you're using the high heat function as well that you just distribute that evenly around it. It just wants it, you know, like nice and even around the blades. So I'm happy with that. Stir with aid of spatula to coat the spices, right? So now it just wants me to get in there and really marinate that beef so that all of those spices and the oil is covering all of it. And just remember again, just to make sure that it is evenly distributed. Your high heat function won't work if it's not in there evenly, which I found out yesterday, a new tip that I learnt. The more times you jump onto these cooking experiences, cooking classes, the more you're going to learn and the more you're going to get use out of your TM6.
Absolutely.
So that's going to cook for 8 minutes now.
Fabulous. Thank you. And we will see you again shortly, Vicky. So perfect timing. My curd has finished. So it is asking us to transfer into sterilized jars and loosely cover, or with loose lids to allow to cool completely. Sorry, I'm reading upside down there. I've just played around with my lighting. I hope my screen's a little bit better. I'm not sure what's going on tonight. The screen of my TM6 seems really bright. I've turned my brightness all the way down and that normally does the trick, but I do apologize. But here we have that beautiful hands-free lemon curd. Look at that. It is thick, and that is going to thicken up in the fridge when that's set. So I'm going to use that pastry. I'm going to turn that into some little pastry cases shortly and fill that with lemon curd. And when they're in the fridge, that is going to firm up absolutely beautifully. But seriously, oh, the smell is just amazing. So there we have fresh lemon curd made in about 8 minutes. From, what was that, 4 ingredients in our thermo. I'm going to let that cool slightly, and then we will use that in a little bit. So I have just made some meatballs, and I've actually used our slow cooking function. So our TM6 has a slow cook function, and it is amazing. But this recipe does take 3.5 hours, and I didn't want to keep you guys on for 3.5 hours tonight, and I didn't want to leave you not being able to see the end result. So what I've actually done is I've made a video of the meatballs, which I'm going to share with you now. So I'm going to walk you through when I made these earlier, and then I'm going to show you the end result. So is anyone using the slow cook function in their TM6, or is anyone using a traditional slow cooker? Pop it in the chat and let us know. All right, so here we have our meatballs in tomato sauce. So you can see here, my camera's a little bit crooked. I apologize. I thought it was straight. I think my internet's gone funny. Can you guys hear me okay?
It was funny, but it's fine now, Chelsea.
Can everyone hear me all right? Oh.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sorry, my internet just randomly decides it doesn't like me. So I do apologize, and I hope that's the only issue. Great. Okay, so you can see here I'm using my limited edition sparkling black. You can see the texture really up close here. So I'm going to play the video and I'm just going to walk you through this beautiful recipe. Oh, I am just going to mute that so you don't have to listen to my children in the background. So we've got our recipe, scroll down, get all your ingredients and hit the start cooking button. So we're going with 60 grams of Parmesan cheese cut into 3 centimeter pieces. Hit that next button, 1 garlic clove. I'm a lover of garlic, so I'm going in with 2 garlic cloves. Always double the garlic, guys. Now, this recipe does ask for some breadcrumbs. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw in 2 crusts that nobody in my house eats that end up going to waste. And I'm going to turn that into breadcrumbs. So we've got our bread, our garlic, and our Parmesan cheese going in. And we've got 8 seconds on our timer and around to speed 8. So we're making some garlic cheesy breadcrumbs here, which is awesome. Is anyone making their own? Oh, that's not working properly, is it? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, fabulous. Thank you. When I look at my other screen, is it playing okay, the video?
A little bit slow, Chelsea.
Yeah, there's a bit of a lag, Charles.
Yeah.
It's not playing at all now, I don't think. Not on my end, it's
All right.
not.
I just switched to my phone. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, I do apologize about that. So let me just try again. If it's lagging or my sound is funny, please let me know. But I hope this is going to work okay for us. So I've added in those bread crusts that nobody eats in my household anyway. And we're going to make some cheesy, garlicky breadcrumbs there. So 8 seconds on speed 8. We're going to whip that around. Is anyone making breadcrumbs in their Thermomix at the moment? Or is anyone buying breadcrumbs from the shops? Let me know what you guys are doing at home. So then it wants 300 grams of lean beef mince, and it also wants 300 grams of pork mince. So there's our beautiful crumbs made in just 8 seconds. So I just like to use beef mince. I don't really buy pork mince, to be honest. I find it just easier to buy beef mince. So I'm just going in with about 550 grams of beef mince instead of 600 grams of pork and beef. So then we want some dried basil, dried sage. And again, Vicky, I'm sorry, I am that guesstimator and I am guesstimating my way through this. I'm as I said, near enough is good enough, guys. It'll be fine. And then 1/2 to 1 teaspoons of salt. And you've got my lovely salt shaker there that does automatically start grinding when I tip it upside down. And then 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper. Then we're going to pop our lid on and we're going to mix all of those ingredients together. So we've got 10 seconds on that timer, speed 5, and we're actually using our reverse function. We don't want to blitz up our mince anymore. We just want to combine all those ingredients together. So whenever I'm making meatballs, I always think about how I used to get in there with my hands and get it all under my nails. So we don't have to do that anymore. And then it did ask me to swap bowls or remove it, which I just swapped bowls. And then we're going to start on our sauce and we'll come back to those meatballs in just a moment. So 20 grams of olive oil and 3 garlic cloves cut into half. And then we put our lid on and our simmering basket on top instead of our measuring cup, as Vicky did earlier. And then we've got 3 minutes on the timer on 120 degrees and on speed 1. So we've just started cooking it down those garlic cloves. As you can see there, that beautiful garlic cooking nicely in that bit of oil. Just beautiful. The smell that comes out of that is just amazing. Then we go with 200 grams of brown onion cut into wedges. And then we're going to go into that wonderful high heat mode that Vicky was using earlier, and we're going to get some sauteing happening. So we put our splash guard on top for that safety function and let it know it's done. And we've got 6 minutes on our timer and we're going on our maximum temperature. And then you can see our high heat mode doesn't have any speed. So you just turn that dial and it starts. Now I'm just going to turn the sound back on. So you can see here, we've been sauteing for about a minute and you can see that beautiful smoke coming out. How great is that sound? So it gets really, really hot really fast and it creates essentially a fry pan environment. So instead of having to stand at the stove and stir, your TM6 is going to do that for you. You would have heard that the blades stop moving. It really browns, caramelizes, braises, all those great things. And then it spins to stop it from burning, turns it all around, and then repeats that process. So it has done that for about 6 minutes there. And you can see here how beautiful and sauteed those onions are. So we've got a little bit of browning happening there and got some really nice flavor. You can see those bits of garlic there have got some really nice browning on them as well. And then we're just going to chop that up. So we put our measuring cup back in. We got 3 seconds on speed 4. And chop, chop, chop. I love all the fancy things my Thermomix does, but just to be able to chop onions, garlic, veggies in my Thermomix is definitely one of my favorite things. There we go. Beautifully cut up. 3 minutes and no tears. Now you can tell I've done a lot of cooking today. I ran out of small bowls, so please excuse my children's bowl there, the nice pink bowl. So just scraping that out. Now you don't have to get all of it out because we are going to pop that back in shortly anyway. But then we are going to insert our blade cover. So here we have our blade cover peeler. Has anyone got a blade cover or a blade cover peeler? And you can see here our TM6 actually has videos on the screen. So this is a very cool function and it brings up these videos every now and then to help you with different steps, which is awesome. So blade cover just goes in straight on top of the blades, nothing else that you need to do. And then we're going to pop our sauce ingredients in. So we've gone 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce, 50 grams of red wine. I went a little bit over, but that's okay. 800 grams of canned chopped tomatoes. So I've got 2 400 gram cans there. A couple of you have a blade cover peeler, which is great. And April has said, I love how I got it as a host reward. So that is one of our beautiful host rewards as well. You can get the blade cover peeler reduced or free when you host a cooking experience with 2 of your friends. So please chat to your consultant about that or reach out and we can help you out. Going in with 50 grams of tomato paste and then 2 teaspoons of chicken stock. Now, I don't use chicken stock. I just use vegetable stock. I use veggie stock for everything. I find it so versatile and it's just easier for me just to have veggie stock in my fridge. So I have that at all times. 5 grams of raw sugar. It says white. I've gone raw. That's fine. And then a teaspoon of dried oregano. And I do also really love basil. So I've gone in with a teaspoon of basil as well. Just using your dried herbs also reduces the cost of your grocery bill. So if you ever want to switch out fresh herbs for dried, you absolutely can. A little bit of salt and pepper. And then we're going to put those reserved onions and garlic back into the bowl there. And we're going to put our simmering basket on instead of our measuring cup again. We have 10 minutes on our timer, 100 degrees, speed 1 and reverse. So we are just essentially heating up that sauce. And then we're going to add in those meatballs. So I've rolled those meatballs into little golf ball size balls. There is our sauce. So little golf ball size balls. The recipe asks for about 30. And pop those into your sauce. Oh, I did lose one on my bench. Into the sauce they go. And then we're going to put our lid back on. You just want to give them a little bit of a stir. So you do want to make sure that they are kind of sitting under the sauce. They're not all piled up on top of each other. So just kind of flick them around the sauce. Lid back on. Simmering basket on top. And then we go into our slow cook mode. So we've got 3 hours on 95 degrees. And that is our slow cooker there. So I noticed in the comments, not many people have used the slow cooker function before. So the slow cooker is a really great function. It's really versatile. There's so many different things that you can use in it. And there is recipes that might only take an hour in the slow cooker, and then there are other ones that take 4 to 6 hours. And you can absolutely leave it on and head out and come back to a beautifully cooked dinner. So I will show you my end result in just a second. I just noticed in the chat, Sarah asked, what's the difference between the splatter guard and basket? I see you interchanging both at different times. So the splash guard is only to be used when you're in high heat mode. So it is specifically designed to cover the hole in the mixing bowl so no oil can splash out, but it lets the air out with the vents as well. The simmering basket is just to be used when you're above 90 degrees. That's letting some steam out and just stopping any splattering as well. But splash guard is high heat mode only. So here we have our beautiful slow cooked meatballs. So these were in there for 3 hours. The smell is absolutely lovely. You can see they've held their shape perfectly. And that is how our slow cooker function works on our TM6. I am going to plate those up shortly, but I'd love to know, if you were making this recipe, what would you serve them with? Are you a spaghetti and meatballs? I've actually made a meatball sub over here, or an Italian herb and cheese Subway sub. And this is what I'm going to plate mine up with. And we'll talk more about that in just a moment. But let me know in the comments how you would eat these ones. I love getting a few ideas from you guys. And we're going to jump back to Vicky and just see how she's traveling, and I'll see you shortly.
So I'm going to show you the meat. So that has done its function. I'm so sorry, guys. The lighting in here is really, really...
Vic, we need to get you a ring light, my friend.
I know. No, I do have one. This is what my phone is on, but it's broken. Hang on, let me see if I can... Hang on. Oh, is that better? No?
All right, just walk to the pantry. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that keeps better.
Yeah, that my house is very small and it's very, very dark. We've got a lot of renovations to do. So maybe one day you'll see me and my house will be lit up.
It's absolutely perfect. You're doing great.
What makes it even worse is my father-in-law is an electrician, so you think that I could have some proper lighting in here. So we're just going to tip all of that meat that has been beautifully sauteed into here, into the veggies, and we're just going to stir that up. So that's got the veggies that we've cooked. It's got the tomatoes, the cherry tomatoes. It's got lime juice. It's got all of those beautiful flavors. It smells so Mexican. Oh, God, it smells delicious. So have a look at that. I do want you to have a look at these, though, because now I've opened up that pack and had a look at these tortillas. It's made me realize why I don't buy them anymore. These were actually just in my cupboard. And I wanted to use them, and I didn't have time. So if anyone wants to follow me on Instagram, Lets.get.down.and.thermo, I am going to make some tortillas tomorrow, because we're going to have a Mexican night anyway with these. And I'm going to show you the difference between what they look like out of the thermo up against these. That is, yeah.
They're just sad, aren't they?
They're so sad.
Store-bought ones are sad. Yeah.
I was just like, really? I forgot what they look like. And then by making them yourself as well, if you are cooking for those people with intolerances and you need to make them gluten-free, you can absolutely do that. Instead of paying, we all know that you pay through the teeth when it comes to those gluten-free products in the supermarket. Now you can do them very, very cheaply. So I'm going to just lift that here, and I'm going to pop some of this on the tortilla, on the sad tortilla. Make sure you get a little bit of everything in there. I think I've missed some green capsicum, so I'm going to put that on too. Put as much as you like. And then we're just going to pop on the lettuce. Now, feel free to add anything else that you want here. You can really make, beef that up even more if you wanted to, and add some, beans. You could add avocado. I would definitely add avocado to this. And then we're just going to grab some of this cheese. Yeah, I can see what you mean, Charles. I think I'm definitely going to switch that to tasty. Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, like cheddar tastes amazing, but yeah, it's not practical.
No, not at all. So there we go. Like, how super quick and easy was that? To have that as well as like a taco night or something, like you could have a full Mexican night. And I absolutely love that. And it's so like that. The meat was probably the most expensive part of that, but honestly, you don't go and get your best cut meat. You can just get away with like your rump steak or whatever that is that cheaper one. So there again, you're saving some money off your shopping bill there. So yeah, that's that. Chelsea,
Brilliant.
or would you like me to get these?
Yeah, you can pop your eggs on. Thanks, Vic. That's great. And I find with that recipe, because it only uses 300 grams of beef and
Yeah,
has all the vegetables in it. It's not an expensive one because you're not using 500 or 600 grams of red meat.
I think it cost me. Let me have a think. It was $8 for that amount
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
the rump steak that I got. So and that was the most expensive part. The lettuce I already had in my fridge. The capsicum I buy every week anyway, so that was already in my fridge. I already had the cheddar cheese as well. So it literally just cost me $8 for this, and plus the sad packet of tortillas that I already had anyway. So I'm glad
But
that
if you made your own, it only cost you about $1 to make tortillas from scratch. So there you go.
There you go, $1. See, and I'm going to have to look this up on the Woolies app later, but I'm pretty sure these would have cost me like around the $4 mark. Okay, so now I'm going to try and get this closer. Again, I'm sorry, like Chelsea, mine's a little bit bright, so you might not be able to see.
No, that's okay. I think yours is probably a little bit better than mine, to be honest.
Is that okay? All right, so this is the egg boiler mode. So this is another mode that you're not going to be able to find on your TM5. You can choose however you want it cooked. So from soft, medium, medium hard, and hard. And I can guarantee you that how you want it how you want it cooked is exactly how it is going to come out. I don't know about you, but I am very, very big on putting eggs on the stove. Then I forget about them, and I always overcook them. I do like them hard boiled, but I overcook them to the point where you can't even get the shell off because they're too far gone. This is amazing because they come out perfect every time. I'm just going to grab a liter of water, so bear with me.
For anyone that has a TM6, are you using the egg boiler mode? Is that something that you've used? Pop it in the chat and let us know.
So you do not need anything, no other accessories to be able to do this. We are literally just going to pop 2 cold eggs, so straight from the fridge into that water. I'm going to pop the lid on, and then I'm just going to pop the steaming basket on top as well. And then I think we're just going to choose, let's go medium soft. No, that's a bit too long for this. Let's go soft. And I'm going to show you. So that's 9 minutes anyway. So in 9 minutes, we're going to be able to make, your super runny, oops, sorry, my phone just went a bit funny then. You're going to be able to make that super runny egg to be able to dip soldiers in. I don't know about you guys, but I'm 35 years old and I still love dipping soldiers in eggs. I remember my nan used to make these for us all the time. So that's going to do its thing for another 8 minutes now, and then I will come back and crack one open and show you how perfectly cooked it is.
Thank you so much, Vic. Who doesn't love a dippy egg? It's something that I never made because I would always kill it. So I've grabbed my pastry out of the fridge and it's perfect. I have rolled it out. This makes a massive amount. So I've actually rolled it out and popped it into my tart tin, which I've got blind baking in the oven. But you can see this is such a beautiful pastry to work with. It's so soft and light and lovely. So I did think I had a rose gold tray out, and I reckon my hubby's put it away on me. Here we go. I've got one of our rose gold baking trays. muffin tins, I should say. I am going to just make a couple of little ones for you. I just want to check the size. So grab your cutter and you want it to be bigger than your hole. So I feel like I'm missing the size that I need in my set, of course. But that's okay. We might just have to use the big one. I'm missing the next size up from there. So cut it out like so. And you want it thickish because you do want a nice bit of pastry on your, oh, that's probably a good size actually. You do want a nice bit of pastry, put your curd into. You don't want it thin and crumbly. The pastry is one of the best bits. So, but down, I've got long nails, so it's a bit hard just to get into the edges. On our mix shop, thermomix.com.au/shop, you can grab the little wooden paddles that kind of go down like that. Have a little bit of an overhang. Probably make it look a tiny bit nicer than mine. So we can make a couple of those. And then we're just going to blind bake these as well for a couple of minutes, get that pastry looking nice. So you can use baking beads, which I've done in my other one, but you can also do rice. So I've got some rice that I use time and time again. So just when you're blind baking, remember to put a little bit of baking paper in. I have made the mistake before of not putting the baking paper in, and then you have to try to pick your beads or your rice out, which is not fun. So line it and put some of your rice in just a little bit. Want like a little bit of a square into there. And then I'm going to pop that into the oven to bake for maybe 10 minutes or so. That I will finish doing that later. You can use that for lots of other things. So super versatile. We have got the sugar in it, so we don't want to use it as a savory, but lots of different sweet things that you could use it for. You could even cut it into shapes and just make like cookies out of it. Absolutely. So my last recipe for the night is we're going to head back into my weekly planner. I think that screen's a little bit better there for you guys. And we're going to make some yogurt. So is anyone making their own yogurt at the moment? Pop in the chat and let us know if that's something that you are making. So I'm going to do the pot set plain yogurt. This is something that we make constantly in our household, and it is our biggest money saver. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But this is a super easy recipe. So we're going to go with 120 grams of yogurt. Now, I do have some yogurt that I made a couple of days ago. And this one was the Varoma method in the bowl, sorry, like in the thermo server. But I'm going to use this. So this yogurt cost me about $3 to make, which means my 120 grams is probably about 30 cents. So very, very cheap when you are using your own starter. So when you are making your own yogurt, get into the habit of keeping what you need for your next batch aside. Some only need 50 grams, some need 120. So keep that in a separate container to the side so you got it for next week. We need 800 grams of full cream milk. And my top tip is to use long life milk. It is cheaper, means you've always got it in the cupboard. And it also means that you can skip the next step because it is already heat treated. So we're going to go 800 grams. 40 grams of white sugar. Lots of these recipes asking for white sugar. This is optional. You can leave it out if you like a Greek yogurt. This is for my kids and they like a sweeter yogurt. So I'm going to pop that in. If you are making this for your family and they are used to store-bought yogurt, I recommend that you triple that amount for your first few batches and then wean it down slowly. I meet a lot of people that say my kids won't eat the Thermomix yogurt, and I always say that's because there's not enough sugar in it. When you have a family that's used to store-bought, there are hundreds of grams of sugar in their yogurt. So 40 grams in an 8 or in a kilo batch of yogurt just isn't enough. So you do need to sweeten it more. So I would go at least 120 grams of sugar. And then every time that you make it, kind of cut out another 10 grams until you get down to the 40. And that's something that they're used to. So the other thing that I like to add in, that vanilla bean paste again, or some vanilla essence, because we love vanilla yogurt in our house. So again, just a teaspoon of your vanilla bean. or vanilla essence. Either.
Back to that quickly, Chelsea, with the making sure that you do it slowly. I've had to do the same thing with our son. So I've taken control of what he's eating, and with the sugar wise of it, I have just taken little bits time so that it's gradual and it hasn't just been huge whoa. Not what we normally eat, Mum. So I've just done it so gradual, and he has not noticed. So
amazing.
I've been making his school snacks, and he just
good.
So
and it is hard. Yeah, because when you are buying store-bought, there is just so much sugar. It is wild the amount of sugar they put in things, especially kids' snacks. And we're not a perfect household. My kids definitely eat sugar, but if I can reduce it in certain things, that's really important to me. So I love that we can make this yogurt and that they can have it and they really enjoy it. And I know that it has such a small amount of sugar in it. So we've literally just whizzed that up. And now the next step is to warm on 37 degrees we're going to go into the warming mode, which will take about 10 minutes. It's really quite quick, but I'm a bit time poor. I'm very time poor. So I like to do as short as possible. So with this recipe, if you're using long life milk, you can skip that step. It does tend to make it slightly thicker, but it doesn't make a huge difference. So when I'm in a rush, I'm like, great, I'm just going to go to the next step. So I've got some pouches here. So these are Cherub Baby. I buy these on eBay. You can buy them in some stores. You should pay around $25 for 20, and you can get free postage, so shop around, especially on eBay. These are reusable. So these are perfect for the kids, for after-school snacks, for work, whatever it is, on the go. Brilliant. They are washable and dishwasher safe as well. Just make sure you give them a good clean before you use them next. So we are just going to take our yogurt, and we're going to put about 120 grams-ish in it. So that is 120 grams of yogurt. You're going to seal it up. It's the hardest part, squeezing it together. And again, you're going to fill them all up. Dean, can you just finish cleaning that bowl for me, please? And keep on going until you've got none left. You're going to get about 8 out of this. Now, I tend to double this batch. I find that you can fit 2 of this in the bowl and then in the Varoma. So I like to make 16 pouches because my kids just go through them too quickly. But because I've got a batch of the ThermoServe I made one, I don't want to do 16. It'll just go to waste. So I'm just going to do the 8 tonight for you guys. So in they go. I'm going to continue that in just a moment. You don't need to see me pour all of those in though. So our next step, pour yogurt into 8 small sealable jars. So you can buy little yogurt jars on the mix shop that fit perfectly in your Varoma as well, or you've got your pouch option, whatever works. Top the jars with lids to cover them. They're closed up, so that's perfect. And then we're going to go 250 grams of water in a jug my husband prepared for me a moment ago. So we're going to go 250 grams. A little bit more. I'm going to go in with some lemon or vitamin C. Vitamin C. So 30 grams. So this is just going to stop your bowl from rusting, just because we are going to have this going for about 10 hours. So you don't want your bowl or blade to rust, so that's going to stop it. We're going to put our lid on. Then we're going to pop our Varoma on top. Then we are going to load our pouches up. So all 8 of my pouches that I have just made. We're going to put our lid on, hit that next button, and then 10 hours on 70 degrees. And this is our fermentation mode. So this is one of our TM6 only modes. You can make yogurt in the TM5. You can't in the TM31. The TM5 you can make the bowl yogurt, but you can't make like your pouch set or your pot set or anything like that. So this fermentation mode keeps it at the perfect temperature overnight. It's going to stay on for 10 hours. When we wake up in the morning, this will be done. Pop it into the fridge, and that is your yogurt done. It is that simple, and it is going to save you literally thousands of dollars. For us in our household, when we had a TM31, we were spending about $30 a week on yogurt. I upgraded to a TM5 and started making the bowl yogurt, and I started spending $3 a week. So I was saving over $25 a week on yogurt alone. Now that I have a TM6, I would say that saving would be even better because I'm making the pouch yogurt, which is just amazing. So it's just astronomical how much money you can save when you make your own yogurt. So such a great function there. you have any questions about yogurt, please let me know. Pop them in the chat. But we are just going to take back to Vic. Vic, how are your eggs going?
Sorry,
Oh, you just unmute. There you go.
I know. They're done now.
They're done?
Please don't laugh at what I've got my eggs in because I can't find my egg cup.
That is amazing. In a shot glass. Love that. That is keeping it real, Vicky. There is no judgment here.
I was like, what can I use? And we've got shot glasses everywhere. I don't know why. We don't drink that much. I don't.
Or you
Anyway.
don't.
So here we go. I've just cut the top off, and I'm going to. Actually, I might. This is really, really soft. As anybody who likes them that soft, I don't. I do like cooking mine a little bit more, but
Oh no, yeah, no, that's how I like it. Yeah.
have a look
If
at
you're going
that.
to do a dippy egg, it needs to be dippable.
Oh my God. I'll actually like. That is so, so good. Even though I don't like them that soft, that is actually amazing. So I made little soldiers as well, just to be able to dip that in. If my son sees that in the morning, he's going to be devastated that I didn't wake up to have some.
Let us know in the chat, how do you like your dippy eggs? Are you extra soft or just a little bit soft, or pop it in the chat and let us know.
Literally 8 minutes and they are done. How much does it say actually? I'll just check that. So you can do 2 to 6 eggs in that large size. So it's saying anywhere between your 53 and your 63 gram eggs, cold from the fridge into the mixing bowl, and then just a litre of water, and then choose how you would like your oak. Easy as.
Amazing. So you can do hard boiled, soft boiled, all of those different things. Like that's right, isn't it, Vic?
Yeah, so you got soft, medium, medium hard, or you can hard boil them. So if you're doing, if you're doing your healthy eating and you're needing all of that protein, you want your hard boiled eggs, you can do 6 of those to do your meal prep for the week for your lunches if you're adding those into salads.
Amazing. Fabulous. Well, thank you so much, Vicky, for showing us all of those beautiful dishes tonight. If anyone has any questions for Vicky, please pop them in the chat. And again, Vicky, what is your Instagram?
Lets.get.down.and.thermo. So you can find me on Insta, TikTok, Facebook. Feel free to follow me. I am constantly posting some tips and tricks and things that we cook for our family. Like I said, my boy, we've really taken control of what he's eating. So we do try to stick to those healthier snacks. And yeah, thank you so much for having me, guys.
Beautiful. Thank you. Big thank you to Vicky. This is Vicky's first class with me, so it's very lovely to have her. So big thank you to you, Vic. And we will see you again soon, I'm sure. So just back over to me to plate up what I've got going on. So we have our beautiful meatball sub. So this is a clone of a Subway Italian herb and cheese roll. These are the most delicious recipe. Like, look at that. It is fluffy and light and so much flavor. So this is actually a created recipe. So you can find that recipe on the recipe community website, recipecommunity.com.au. And when you have a TM6, you can actually bring recipes from the recipe community over to your Thermomix for created recipes. So you go into My Recipes and Created Recipes, and you can see we have Subway style Italian rolls. Now, when you've done a created recipe, it looks slightly different, but it is still very similar. You can scroll down, you can work your way through, you can click on your steps and do your guided cooking, which is amazing. I love the recipe community, but I love guided cooking so much that I stopped using recipe community. And then a little while ago, they brought out this feature where we are able to bring them over, which is amazing. It also means you can create your own recipes. So I've added some of our family favorites to the recipe community and to my created recipes, which is awesome, because I found that there were things that I used to make that I'd stopped because I was so in the habit of using guided cooking. So I love that I'm able to do that now. So if you've got a family favorite recipe that's been passed down to you, friends recommend things, whatever it may be, you can absolutely add them into your cookie do and create them on the screen for guided cooking, which is amazing. I'd walk you through that, but if I do, it'll stop my yogurt, which is actually fine because I haven't popped the other things in yet. So I will just take you through that quickly. Just so you can see. So click on the recipe that you want. And then you hit the start cooking button. And it says imported by, I'm using my friend Tracy's Thermomix, so it does say imported by Tracy Sever, but it literally brings it up step by step. When it's underlined, it brings up your ingredients down the side and your scales. And then it also brings up your steps. So you just click on it, it brings up your dough mode, 3 minutes. So it is all set just like your cookie dough recipes are, which is awesome. Does anyone have any favorite community recipes? Pop it in the chat and let us know which ones you love. So these bread rolls are such a hit. So what I did was I actually made my dough and I've just cooked one and I've put the dough in the fridge overnight because we are going to have these tomorrow night. So I'm going to make the rest of my rolls tomorrow night. But here I would add some lettuce and some cheese, some mayo. What other things do you like from Subway? Avo, whatever it may be. I love Subway, but it's so expensive. I got some the other day and it was $10 for a 6-inch, which is about this size. $10. I just literally had chicken, lettuce, mayo, that kind of stuff. I'm going to lose a meatball. But there we have a delicious meatball sub for an absolute fraction of that cost to feed my whole family. This whole recipe probably cost me $15, and that's just slightly more than one sub from Subway. So huge money saver there, tastes amazing. And these slow cooked meatballs are just delicious. So if you don't already follow me at Mixing It Real on Instagram, and you'll see this tomorrow night when we cook up the rest and eat them. So that is our slow cooked meatballs. I'm going to pop them in the fridge for tomorrow night. And then our curd. So I'm just going to plate this one up for you guys to see. So I had my pastry blind baking away. Got my big one and then my little one. Perfect. Now I love these rose gold trays because they are non-stick. So it does just slip out like this. Then you want to let it cool. Let your pastry cool slightly before you fill it. But for your viewing pleasure, I'm going to fill it up for you. So we have our pastry. Is anyone else like me? You can never find a spoon in your house? I don't know where all my spoons go. Seriously, where do all my spoons go, guys? And I found the Thomas the Tank Engine spoon, so that's a great look. So here is that beautiful curd. You can see already how much that has thickened up just from sitting there. Give it a stir. Fill that up. And there we have just made the most beautiful lemon tarts. Look at that. Now, you might want to pop some meringue on top of that. Whip up some meringue in your thermo, put that in. Maybe you just want to leave it as it is. Let me know, would you prefer meringue or as is? But look at that. It is so firm already. Popping that in the fridge overnight, that's going to be beautiful. I've got my tart as well, my pie pastry here with my beads. So that one is looking great, and I'm going to use the rest of that curd in here, and I might actually put some meringue on top of it. I think my kids have grandparents' day at school tomorrow, and we do need to bring a dish, so this is going to be my dish. So I might send that as a meringue for morning tea for all the beautiful grandparents tomorrow. If you have any questions about any of our dishes, please pop them in at the chat and let us know. And we'd love to know, what was your favorite dish or what was your favorite function of the Thermomix that you saw on our class tonight? We love hearing what you guys enjoy about these classes. Now, if you watched us tonight and thought, I could do that, it's probably because you could, and we'd love to chat to you about coming on board and joining our team. We have our reduced deposit earn if you're thinking about earning a TM6 first or second, a half price business kit, and of course the option to come on as an owner with a Thermomix and start earning commission straight away. Maybe you want to earn a little bit of money before Christmas or coming into the new year. So please reach out to your consultant or send Vicky or I a message, and we would love to chat to you about that. The other thing is our $29 bowl with TM6 purchase is ending on Tuesday night, the 31st. So please reach out to your consultant if you have any questions about how to get the $29 bowl with the TM6 bundle. Our TM5 trade up is also ending, so $300 off your TM5 plus a free second bowl, so $7.95 value there, which is amazing. And there's so much going on at the moment. We also have 36 months interest free. So if you have been thinking about investing in a Thermomix, 36 months interest free is running again till Tuesday night. So please chat to your consultant or reach out to Vicky or I, and we would love to give you some ideas about how that works. That brings the cost of your Thermomix down to just $18 a week. So we were talking about yogurt saving. If you were to start making yogurt instead of buying it, you could potentially be saving that just on yogurt alone, which is amazing. So if you want any more info on any of those things, please reach out and let us know. Thank you so much for coming along tonight. And I do apologize about my internet. I have no idea what went wrong there, but I am sorry, and thank you for sticking with me. Vicky and I will post some photos on our Instagram tomorrow. So I am Mixing It Real, and she's Lets.get.down.and.thermo. So please give us a follow. And again, if you have any questions, we would love to know. And if you have any ideas about what else you would like to see us make, other classes, please let us know, because we love to hear from you guys. So thank you again for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. We love seeing you guys, and we hope you enjoyed our class, and we hope to see you very soon at your own cooking experience on our next class, or if you do decide to come along and join our team. Thanks so much, everyone, and good night.